before and after the election, I had a lot of thoughts, a lot of opinions, and I really didn't share any of them. The only things I shared were messages that I got through prayer from God. And I shared back in, I think it was the beginning of October, who God showed me would be the next president. And what he showed me wasn't a person. What he showed me was our inability to trust as a nation, that he anoints the kings. Do you trust him? You know, because the next president of the United States, who he told me it would be, was the one that we deserve. That's who we're going to get. And I believe that's correct, no matter how you feel about this next president. We got the one we deserve. And God anoints the kings, whether you like it or not. And I say this a lot. There's a lot of things in the Bible that I don't like, just being honest. There's a lot of things in the Bible I disagree with. But that doesn't matter. That just does not matter. It still doesn't make it wrong. It still doesn't make it not true. I mean, the Word of God is perfect. And our feeble minds can't comprehend the glory of God. We just can't comprehend it. And I share all this because I think that the big loser in this election is America. And here's why. Not because of who won. Not at all because of who won. Please be very clear on that. We're the big loser because we lean on government, and we proved it. People were so scared about who the next president will be, regardless of who you are, regardless of which political side of the aisle you're on. People were scared. They were scared. Well, why were they scared? Because they don't trust God. They don't trust God. And then had one particular candidate won, half the country be horrified and scared. And if the other candidate won, the other half of the country would be horrified and scared. So both sides would be horrified and scared. Why? Because they don't trust God. They simply don't trust him. And that is why this country is the big loser in this election. Because nobody trusted God. Nobody trusted God in this. Like everybody. Boy, they redid this trail, for the record. This is a new way. Used to have to go up to this rock and go around it. Now we're, Benjamin, here. Super muddy when they make a new trail. All right, anyhow. I believe that the big loser was America because we proved it, that not all of us. I didn't. I mean, I was obviously concerned, but I shared in another video, you know, I just was concerned about his will being done, and that's as long as his will was being done. I almost wrote in Will Beeden, my good friend Will Beeden, his will be done. Because it doesn't matter. You know, I ended up voting for a person because, you know, it's my civil duty. I think my wife would have killed me if I told her I penciled somebody in. But that's how I felt going into it. Was I concerned? Well, sure. But in the end, there's nothing I can do about it. I just need to lean on God. And, you know, and I'm talking about this because I actually just filmed another video talking about how, as Americans, you know, how I feel politically is we need to just be leaning on God. Like, imagine if every time something went wrong, you didn't lean on the government, you leaned on God. You know, what kind of nation we would be. You know, but everybody proved it. You know, they just proved it. That, well, not everybody, but I'd argue 99% of voters or adults just proved it, that, you know, I'm so concerned about who the next president will be, and my future depends on it, because I don't trust God. You know, you either trust him or you don't. And if you trust him, you would know that his word says that he anoints the kings. He brings up kings and he tears down kings. It is up to him. But I've often believed that what God really did, like how he instills, like, you know, because you might say, well, wait, the people voted. It was the people's vote that determined the president. Well, one, you don't know how God works. Two, his ways are higher than our ways and his thoughts are higher, so I don't either. But what I do know he does and has done throughout the history of his word was minister to people's hearts, to get them to vote certain ways, make certain decisions, make them scared, so scared that they have to vote a certain way because they're scared. And I'm willing to bet a lot of people out there didn't know who they were going to vote for near the end and voted out of fear. I bet some of you watching that were like, I did that. You know, I'm scared this other things. I'm going to vote this way. You know. And that's why America loses, man. You know, that's why we're the big losers in this. We showed ourselves to not trust in God. You know, we showed ourselves that everything that's written on our money is a lie. That we lean on government, and government we trust. You know, and again, I know a lot of you are like, well, I don't trust the government. I don't lean on them. Well, I hear you. Then why were you so worried? You know, why do you even care who wins? Like if it's really God that you're leaning on, because the only person that's going to be president is the one that God decided would be president, period. So there you go, man. Any thoughts or insight on any of this? Definitely put it below. I'd like to see people change. I like us not to be that way, you know. I wish it was like it was back in the day, where when you fell down, you lifted yourself up and prayed about it and figured out how to get God's help instead of the government's help. But here we are. Here we are.